What's good, YouTube? It's your man CJ checking in once again, back with another video. Just getting off work, and I appreciate you tuning in, watching this video, supporting the content, and I want to thank you. And before we get into the content, I would like to invite you all, especially if you're brand new, to subscribe. My name is CJ. I'm a licensed practical nurse currently en route and getting my RN. So I talk nursing on this channel if you're new. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to get into a topic. And it's probably a lot of subtopics within this topic. But I'm going to just be honest and upfront. I've been in the game almost 5 years as a nurse. And primarily my nursing career has been spent working in long-term care. And I've seen, just within my short 5 years, I've seen a lot of things. And the stories that I've heard from other co-workers over the years, and some of the news stories that you see, like nurses and CNAs getting arrested as soon as they pull up to work due to negligence. And just like that one DON, she got the blicky put up to her face and by another nurse, and she let it go on her face. Now, thank God, my fault, y'all. Thank God she survived, but it could have been a lot worse. And a lot of that stuff happens in the nursing home. Let me just start by saying this. I know that everywhere has its problems. I do. I really do. But from what I've experienced in nursing homes, particularly the ones in the hood, in the ghetto, Medicaid nursing homes, I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. Nursing homes like that attract, and when I say ghetto, I don't mean black, okay? Because you have all kind of people in these homes, and I know as soon as somebody hears the word ghetto, they automatically like to lump it up with black people. No. It's not just black people. It's all people. But and I call it hood nursing because, generally it is closer to the hood, and, it's not private pay for the most part. And I understand some people have good insurance, but compared to what I've seen versus when you work in a facility to where all the residents have money versus to those who don't, it's a night and day difference. A night and day difference. And I'm going to just say that nursing homes, a lot of them are extremely toxic, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to make this video for my new grad nurses, my new grad LPNs, or my nursing students that are thinking about going to long-term care once they graduate. Here's the thing. I would never ever discourage you from coming to long-term care, because I believe if you can survive in long-term care, it ultimately can make you a better nurse. And it's not even so much of it that it's the workload per se, but in a lot of nursing homes, especially a lot of the hood nursing homes, the management is lacking severely. You dig what I'm saying? And I've seen this in nursing homes in the suburbs too. So honestly, it just really depends on where you are. But the management is lacking severely. And you can always tell, though, when it's a private pay facility versus when it's Medicaid. You can always tell, because everything is different from the top to the bottom, ladies and gentlemen. From the admissions that the facilities take, to the management, to how the management greets their guests, and it's a whole different ball game. And I think I'm actually gonna have to do a podcast about this, a long form podcast, or maybe do a live like I used to do in the car, and I want to get back to. But like, it is night and day. First of all, this is probably gonna be one of the most honest videos that I've ever made. When you work in facilities, and I used to think this was a flex, right? When I first got into the game, because I came in around 2020. When you work in facilities to where you can just walk in and get a job, no real interview process, no competency test, none of that kind of stuff, that's a problem. And I thought it was a flex back in the day because, again, we grow, we learn, and I had to learn. And I've come to the conclusion that that's not a good thing. Okay, if you can walk in, barely have an interview, barely have a sit down, they really don't know nothing about you, and they just say, hey, you can start Monday, come to orientation. That's a problem, because 9 times out of 10, it's a reason they're doing that. The turnover rate is extremely high. 9 times out of 10, they usually accept anything when it comes to patients, meaning that they probably take some of the worst of the worst. Some people who have no business even being in a nursing home. So you have to be aware of that. It's getting to the point now to, like I said, they are admitting all kinds of, when I tell you I've seen some things in these nursing homes. You have to, I just wish I could say, and I'll tell it one day, and obviously for HIPAA reasons, I won't use names and all that kind of stuff, but one day I'll tell y'all some of the things that I've seen that's really been crazy. And it's really made me it's really shaped my view of how I view healthcare. You know what I'm saying? I've learned that healthcare, at least from the top, in certain corporations, certain companies, it is 98% about wealth and not about health. Okay? This is a business at the end of the day. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to pound that into a lot of you super nurses' heads. And we're going to get on y'all too. But you have to be careful to our new grads, because if they hire you right off the street, don't really know you and everything like that, usually, like I said, turnover rate's high. They taking anything. Your patient load gonna be crazy. The acuity gonna be crazy. And you can ask anybody that's worked in these settings, and they know I'm not capping. You dig what I'm saying? They know I'm not doing none of that because it's the truth. I've lived it. And it's a wild situation. It's a wild situation. And if you can survive and really hone your skills, and you can put your feelings to the side, remain as logical as possible, remain as neutral as possible, remain as unbiased as possible, and just really stick in and do your job. Now, I'm not saying take anything dangerous. Don't do anything dangerous. But if you can really just hold in and do your job, then you'll make your money and you'll survive. But I also want to be transparent so you understand what the game is. You dig what I'm saying? And sometimes, even in facilities like that, it's not even so much about the patient load, but the culture of long-term care. From what I've seen, is absolutely horrific. It's horrific. Because I've always looked at it like this. When you have a facility, everything starts at the top. Okay? Everything starts at the top. I believe that it's nothing wrong with doing good business. But when you are putting yourself and your staff and even your own company at risk because of arrogance, to me, that's a problem. I'll give you an example. If you have a facility that does not know how to put a training protocol in place to train new and upcoming nurses, you are doing a disservice to not only you, but you're doing it to your patients, your business, your co-workers. Because a lot of these nurses in these nursing homes are stressed out. The nursing homes are so political. And this is the good thing about being a guy in nursing, because not in most cases, guys, we don't really get involved in that kind of stuff. People usually leave us alone. But it's very political in these nursing homes. It's very cliquish, very high schoolish. And again, I've never worked in a hospital, and I'm sure it's going to be some of you all that tell me it's the same way in a hospital, and it may be. But it's very cliquish, very high schoolish, and you get so many miserable people. And like I said, it all starts at the top, because when it's about money, we need a body up in here to get the money and get our bonuses and all that kind of stuff, then you'll just take anything off the street. And so you'll have a lot of crappy workers sprinkled in with some good ones every now and then. And this is why burnout occurs, because in that particular part of nursing, because it's too many crappy workers. Because the standards from leadership is so low. When you have a bad training protocol to where you can't train new nurses and new seniors the right way, and you don't want to pay people to be preceptors, and you just throwing all kind of things on your nurses because you just expect them to do it, especially the good ones, that's how you run your building from a 5-star to a 1-star. Now, I'm sure it's a lot of places that don't care about the rating. They know that your family member still is going to need somewhere to go. You're going to bring them here because you don't have a lot of options. Nursing has shaped the way I view everything now. Because getting sick with money and getting sick without money are two totally different things. And if I'm going to get sick, heaven forbid, I want to have that paper, because I know what it's like to get, well, at least from watching it, I know what it's like to get sick poor. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not pretty. But hold on, I digress. Bad management, which creates bad morale, and then just putting anybody in positions to take these spots, to have it filled. I want to talk to some of you unit managers out there, okay? I want to talk to some of you unit managers. I know a lot of y'all are title chasing. Not all, but a lot of you are title chasing. A lot of you are taking positions of unit managers just to say that you are a unit manager and to have it on your resume, but have no idea what it's truly like to be a unit manager. A lot of people bring their friends in, bring their former co-workers that they used to work with. Blatant favoritism is shown. This one lady in this group, and I know she's probably watching because she told me everything about myself. And shout out to you, because she made a post. I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. All right, I found the post, and I'm going to read it to y'all. And she's making good points. But you can always tell when in these groups, when somebody is a unit manager, because of the position that they talk from, and cool, they have the right to defend their position. So she says nursing homes are so short-staffed, it's ridiculous. The objective is to provide adequate and effective care. Whether you're a CNA, LPN, or RN, you must contribute to care accordingly. In order to work appropriately, you must communicate appropriately to one another. Teamwork makes the dream work. I do not understand what has happened over the past few years, but in healthcare, across the board, CNAs believe they do not have to listen to the directive of a nurse. Some of that is true. This is utterly insane. Nurses believe they are above patient care. It's disgusting. This is true. Some of this is true. You would rather a patient receive inadequate care rather than getting off your butt from the nurse's station and help pass trays or ice water. The nurse's station is not a place for aides to hang out for aides. Nurses and CNAs homework should be done on break and not at the nursing station. I agree with that. The only part I don't agree with, well, she didn't say the aides couldn't sit there. And this is a totally different thing. I think it's stupid that they don't let aides sit at the nursing station or create a station for CNAs to sit at. They are the ones lifting, slinging, wiping, cleaning, feeding. They are doing all the physical work. And for them not to have a place to sit down and for them to have to stand up and chart, that is absolutely unacceptable, in my opinion. If I owned a facility, CNAs will have their own station to where they could chart at. Because, no. Yeah. I know I'm not taking a set. I will help. I will assist, but I'm not taking no whole CNA set. And you got to be in Cena shape. You dig? If you were a halfway decent Cena, you got to be in Cena shape. I'm not in Cena shape. I'm keeping it real. I'm not in Cena shape. Therefore, they should be able to sit down and have their own station. But that's just me. And maybe that does exist some places. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I've never seen it, though. And I never make the CNAs, especially if I know I got good CNAs, I never make them leave the nurse's station. I never do it. That's crazy to me. But anyway, so I don't understand why one believes that if they are in school, they are above the cause. It confuses me. You never know if your coworker will be your boss or even providing you with the business reference. I've really gone on a tangent, but this has to stop. I witnessed so much malpractice and negligence in long-term care facilities. I felt like I was a part of the problem. It's no way a patient should consume a meal with the urinal filled with urine and who knows what on the bedside table. It's insane that these nursing schools and CNAs allow anyone with a few dollars to become a healthcare professional. That, again, I agree with. But I commented on the post. And I said that, what about poor management? This is how I knew this person who posted this was in management. Because she said nothing about management. And I said, what about poor management? From corporate on down. The lack of supplies and tools that you need to even do the bare minimum. The pettiness within the culture that trickles down to the things that you mentioned. It starts at the top. What you said isn't wrong, but the reason it happens is because corporate allows it. Bad leadership equals a bad building. When corporations let you know that it's all about the money and will let a building run short to save a few dollars, that clearly sends the message that there is no teamwork, only business. So this is now what you have. And a lot of people agree with what I said. Her response to what I said was, CJ Kyles, this wasn't about management, which is how I automatically knew she was in management. I'm speaking on the care that is being rendered to our own sick and elderly. It's our own we can't count on. She's talking about being black at this point. We can't count on. And to be honest, a nurse is a part of management and leadership. I agree. J. Cole, the state, will never ask to speak to the CNA. That's cap. I've seen the state speak to CNAs all the time. Nurses are in jail. You have a license, not a certificate. CNAs are going to jail too. CNAs, understand this too. You can go to jail. Y'all are going to jail too. Don't think that you can't, because you can. All right. So she called me out. Well, she tagged me in this one because I didn't see it because she didn't tag her response. I just happened to read it. But she tagged me in one. Hold on, let me pull that up. Okay. Then she said, I'm not making this about management or leadership. We are literally on the front line. They go home at 5. Everyone is running to upscale nursing homes, but you're missing the bigger picture. No one is providing effective care. That's not true. This is where she calls me out. She says, CJ, I've watched a few of your videos on YouTube, The High Value Nurse. Some of the information you put out there is clickbait. You content create, but are you actually using your platform to make a difference? Or is it a soapbox for you to rent? You're becoming an RN, so what are you going to do in leadership and management to make a difference? Now, I know you're watching, okay? And I have no problem with you asking me that, but I know what you were trying to do. You were trying to bait an emotional response out of me. And as somebody who watches my channel, you know that I deal with trolls all the time. Not saying that you're trolling, but I've dealt with trolls, many trolls in the past. So I have emotional intelligence, and I ain't want to go off for what? That was crazy. That was crazy. Why would I do that? So I responded. I said, what I'm doing is putting the people on the game to the business of nursing. Now, how you choose to play the game is up to you. Nothing runs well without good leadership, because how will your team learn anything? We are on the front lines, and everyone has to do their part. But not holding management accountable by saying they go home at 5 is unacceptable. I have been in situations. I have seen situations with my own eyes and heard plenty of stories where a facility will get 4 or 5 admissions and all the management will walk out the door. Every last one of them will walk out the door. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that they don't have the right to go home and do everything that they did if they served the shift, if they did their time on the shift. But to leave your team when you only got 3 nurses in the building to pass meds, do treatments, deal with families, and do 6 admissions, and all the unit managers just walk out the door, you talk about teamwork. Where's the teamwork in that? The culture is terrible. And then she made the comment about running to the upscale facilities. Well, why is everybody running to the upscale facilities? They're running to the upscale facilities because they have a standard. You dig what I'm saying? They're not just looking for a body. They have a standard. You can't do what you want to do in a lot of these places that have money. You just can't. They won't allow it. They're making too much private money for that to happen. You're dealing with really wealthy people. So, what's allowed in the hood ain't allowed in the upscale, as they wanted to call it. It's not allowed. You're not going to come in 45, 50 minutes late every day. Every day, waiting on your relief and all that kind of stuff. It's not going to happen. You're not going to shout orders and then go out and smoke 30 cigarettes as the unit manager. Not saying that that's all of them that's working in the hood, but I'm just keeping it real. You're not going to find that when it comes to the upscale, as they like to refer to. I just call it following the money. I have now learned that it's not about, it's about the location now. You work where the wealthy are. If you want to work somewhere halfway decent, you work with the wealthy. And then somebody made like an off comment and said like it's because they're white and privileged. Ma'am, they're black and wealthy people out here. They're black and wealthy neighborhoods all over the country. It's a city in Michigan called Idlewild, where it's a bunch of black and wealthy people. See, people got to get off the internet and start experiencing real life and actually get out their neighborhood and get out their city. So just because we say wealth or upscale doesn't necessarily mean it's white. Point blank, period. We got a bad habit of doing that. So, all I'm saying, and this video has gone on way longer than I wanted it to go on. But if you're going to go to the nursing homes, to my new nurses, to my student nurses, be prepared. But if you can hang out and stick it through and be blessed with a good preceptor, because they are out there, because I started off in the hood nursing home and I had a great preceptor. Y'all seen her on my channel, Danny D. She's one of my preceptors. You did. We was both working in the trenches. Great nurse. Shout out to Nurse Hunter. Great nurse. Both trained me in the hood. So it shaped me to be a good nurse. If you can find you a good preceptor in a place that will train you. And a lot of these places too, they'll have new grads come to orientation. Nobody's greeting them. They be sitting there for 30, 40 minutes, an hour. Somebody don't come out till an hour later to say something. Orientation started at 9. You don't get seen at 10:30. Like, it's so lacking, bruh. It's so lacking. It's the culture. It's the culture. So, just be prepared. Then once you got some skin in the game, follow the money. Follow the money. Don't listen to what everybody, because you got to understand, some people are just going to be where they are because a lot of people are uncomfortable with change, are uncomfortable with moving. They're a prisoner of their own environment because they're scared that they can't do better, and not necessarily better, but they're just comfortable where they are. I like to move around. I want to see everything because you never know what you might be missing out on. So, you know, I'm about to sit down from long-term care for a little bit. Starting next month, I'm about to sit down a little bit and experience some new things, try some new things, you know. Long-term care will always be here. And I'm thankful for it because I believe it has made me a good nurse. But it's time to sit down for a minute from long-term and experience some other stuff where I can have more control over my schedule and, you know what I'm saying, work in the environment that is not that. And that's why I like the idea of hospice, because you're not working with 30 different individuals every day, or 15 different individuals every day. It's normally just you, the client, the family. So that's what's appealing to hospice for me. And so anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is almost a 30-minute video. I did not mean to get on my soapbox. And shout out to you, man. I have no smoke with you. I actually enjoyed the fact that you made that post, because one, it created some content for me to post. And, I didn't disagree with you. I just said that to me, it starts at the top. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my name is CJ, aka the High Value Nurse, checking in once again, back with another video. I'm off school today because it's super cold outside, and that's all right. Another day to study. So if you don't do nothing else, get paid. Your nurse get paid. And I bid you adieu. Peace.